couldn't wait to have this conversation.
Oh, you make me laugh. See. Anyway, I'm not gonna start rolling because that's what happened. That's what.
Yeah, man, I couldn't wait to have this conversation. So many of our young boys, man, get a little bit of change and get caught up. It could be NBA, it could be working a regular job, and they just doing it for child support, man. But you know, it's so many layers to this. On the one hand, we not gonna negate any responsibility that falls on the man for not strapping up. This is not what we're saying by no stretch of the imagination. This is definitely 50% his fault.
Takes two to tango, right?
However, we're talking about a mindset. We're talking about somebody that goes out, a type of person that goes out and seeks successful men in order to trap them in this situation for 18 years to pay their bills.
Yeah. Now we are assuming that is the mindset of her, right? And if anybody's unaware, we're speaking about Aisha Howard and Anthony Edwards. She has filed child support on Anthony Edwards, citing that he earns $40 million annually. And this relationship took place in Atlanta, but inadvertently she moved to California, which of course is a higher cost of living. And
primarily, we might add, to get a higher child support payment.
Yeah, and that's the assumption. And so that's, you know.
Well, that's how the judge saw it.
Yeah.
You know, in spite of what I'm saying, that's how the judge saw it. The judge was like, at Georgia.
I know.
Why
Yeah, he did do that. So she made a video. Let's say, and we'll react to it today in real time. Let's see here. She made a video. We'll take a look at it.
I have a child by a very successful artist, right? From then, I'm viewed as a certain type of woman because I'm beautiful and I have a nice body. And normally women like that attract a certain caliber of men, which is also not my fault. And now that I am in yet another situation where I now have a child with another successful man, there's no telling you guys that I'm not a gold digger. It's no beating those allegations at all. I read comments that say, oh, you're a gold digger, or you kept the baby for a check. What if I came to y'all's pages, right? And I compared the men that you have children with to the men that I have children with. And I said, you were digging for poverty when you picked him to be your baby daddy, weren't you? Oh, you kept that baby for an extra income tax credit, didn't you? And food stamps, didn't you? Or you kept that baby for an extra Section 8 voucher. Is that why you kept your baby? Now, if that was triggering, that's how I feel every time somebody says, do you even love that baby?
But for some people, some women, that's true.
Let's get into it, man.
For some women, that's absolutely true. There's a culture of women that's absolutely true for. They kept that baby for the Section 8 voucher. They kept that baby for, you know, whatever government assistance.
So that's somebody's reality.
That's definitely some of these women reality, man. It's the craziest thing because
I'm sorry. What did you think about her overall tone of the video?
Oh, man, like most of these women that bought their beauty, you know, their beauty come out, you know, their beauty come out the garage. It's like there's a sense of entitlement that they think natural, beautiful women have. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, a lot of naturally beautiful women sometimes be really insecure. They're not as overly, overtly, like, out there. You know, like, they're comfortable in their skin. They've been had it long enough. It's like when you just get money, you feel compelled to go out and spend it. You know, they just got beautiful. They just bought it the other day.
She feels arrogant in this video to me. And you know what? And I'm never opposed to self-confidence. I am the first person that believes we should be confident, love ourselves, and things of that nature. But there is such a condescending tone of arrogance that takes place in this for me. When she mentions the people and then makes the stark contrast with people in poverty, mentioning somebody's baby daddy. So if anybody doesn't know, she's Lil Baby's baby mama as well. She has a kid with Lil Baby, the rapper Atlanta, and she has a child with NBA star Anthony Edwards. And so so there's nothing wrong with that indirectly, but for her and how she presents herself, it feels arrogant.
And another side of the argument is he was wrong for even propositioning her to have an abortion. But on the flip side of that coin, if it was her idea to have an abortion, there'd be nothing wrong with that. That would be absolutely fine if it was her idea to have an abortion.
So this is interesting, and I'm playing devil's advocate. But essentially from that logic, she has a right to kill and he doesn't?
Well, that's essentially what my body, my choice means. If my choice is to kill it, then, but I subscribe to the Dave Chappelle doctrine. If you can kill it, I should at least be able to abandon the motherfucker. Yeah, but he offered to pay the child support up until the baby was 18 because he didn't want no interaction. He didn't want nothing to do with the child. He didn't want, And
this is interesting by itself. This brings up a different type of conversation because where does that stand in terms of morality and in terms of this humanity? So we bring a life into the world. You know what I mean, as men. Mm-hmm. And what is there a responsibility for us to take that, take care of the life that we create? I think, of course, essentially that there probably is. But does he have a say-so as a man to say, I don't want a child after you've laid with the woman?
Well, I mean, he's expressed several times that he did not want to be a father. He did not want her to be a father. Coming from where he's coming from, I understand that he does not want to be tethered to this woman for 18 years.
Now, so here's my question to you, and this is my question, period. Objectively. You want the benefits, whether it's minus latex. You want the benefits of when you lay down, but do I really get the choice of saying I kill the seed? Like is that what are we doing? And my question is this: because for me personally, I was taught that was wrong, and the only thing that's ever taught me that was wrong was the act of religion. That's the moral issue, right?
I
you
agree.
create a life.
I agree that there's a moral issue. I agree. However, when you've already set the standard of what you want the relationship to be, and you try to.
So you nutting your thoughts? You nutting your side piece? When you set the standard, you know it before her.
All I'm saying, man, is if they get the right to choose, why come a man don't get the right to choose? What happened to equal opportunity? What happened to all that women's liberation? Now when we want to be treated.
No, I'm with you 100% because I think there's equality, right?
Right?
You get the right to choose, I get the right to choose.
Right.
But whether it's him or her, there is a difference between when we lay down raw and when we lay down with protection. And so at that point, who assumes the responsibility of that? whether it's him or her? Do we get at both to both parties?
I mean, she's definitely
50%?
50%, but he's handling the financial responsibility by giving her 1.8 million up front.
Well, this is after the fact. This is after the
Right,
fact.
right.
And he took care. He assumed responsibility, right?
Right. And said, I'm gonna give you 1.8 million. And I don't want anything to do with either of you. Now, it is morally wrong. You do want to keep your daughter.
Now, whoa. You said it was morally wrong.
Right.
Why is it morally wrong?
Because you brought a life into this world and you don't want to be a part of it. But
Who told you that?
I mean, that's
Who?
human nature. That's something that should be innate.
That's not human nature. What if I have bring a life into this world and I'm perfectly fine with leaving it right there and I leave?
That's fine.
Who told you that? That's your nature. Who told you that you had to provide for a life that you brought in the world?
We really having this argument?
It's not even an argument. It's a question.
But I mean, where in nature do the parents not provide for the seed that they bring in the world? And none of them had a Bible.
Very, very good response. Very good support. So your response is very much on a natural response in terms of natural response in nature.
Right.
Yeah, that's an interesting response. And again, I hope I don't offend anybody, but again, I'm asking them.
Playing devil's advocate. I understand, but I mean, it's definitely a moral issue.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between morally wrong and illegal.
Well, what's illegal about it?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. So we're speaking more.
He's within his rights to do that. However, it's morally wrong. And if you can sleep at night knowing that you've done something like that, then hey, good on you. Good on you. But that'll definitely be one of them things that'll definitely come back and revisit him later on.